Then you shouldn't be on YouTube.
This is not the place to talk about that right now. Hey guys, James Lee here with another mukbang. If you guys like this video, give us a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Today, we have a special guest. Mark is joining me for his very first mukbang, I think, right?
Yeah, my very first. I'm excited. Thanks for inviting me.
So, today we are having Chirashi. So, you know what, why don't you do the lifting? He's seen so many of my videos. So we got this to go. We were thinking about going out, but decided to get takeout instead. So sometimes you have to do that too.
I can't see this.
Oh, yeah, it looks good like that. So there's an assortment of different fish in here. There's, tuna, octopus, something that looks like poke almost. Mm-hmm. Salmon, eel. So I think we're just gonna dig in.
Yeah.
But we have beer.
Yes.
As well. That was Mark's idea. So, cheers.
Cheers.
And then we have a couple little bowls here with wasabi and soy sauce. So we're just gonna get that going. Thank you. They sealed this pretty good. How'd you get yours out already?
I just lit it out.
Okay.
But I still want to use a napkin.
Yeah.
Oh.
So for those of you who have been tuning in to Mukbang and know both me and Mark, a question I always get asked is, where is Mark when I'm eating? So I'm gonna let you answer because I feel like every time I answer it, people don't believe me.
Well, here's the real story. Every time James wants to do a mukbang, he wants to, have his privacy and be able to film without any distractions. So we actually have this very small dungeon, very cold. It has a lot of cobwebs and spiders and insects and maybe even like a little lizard dragon. And he locks me inside downstairs until he's done, and then I come out. And then I eat my food. So I'm usually hungry the whole time until he finishes.
That's very far from the truth, but I gave you a chance to at least explain your side of the story.
Well, actually,
right?
We have a third bedroom. We have an office area, and I usually just eat my food there, and then I just kind of hang out there until James says, "Okay, ready, I'm done," and then I come out.
It is kind of embarrassing because the wall to the office is kind of thin, so I feel like you can hear every time I retake.
I can't really, just a little bit, but I can't hear that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, they gave wasabi here too.
Oh yeah.
So with Chirashi, the dilemma I always have is like what order to eat things in. Usually I like to save best for last.
When we went up to San Jose and hung out with Kenny and Sarah, didn't they mention something about the psychology behind imagining what your first bite would be and imagining what your last bite would be? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same concept.
But there's just so many options. Usually there's like 4 things to choose from. This is like at least 12 different things in here.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the salmon roe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start.
First bite. First bite. Oh, should we eat the same thing in the same order?
It's gonna take a lot of coordination.
No, I'll just follow your lead.
Okay, well then,
okay, so
I'm gonna eat a little bit of the egg first.
So this is the tamago.
Yeah.
Cheers. A little bit of soy sauce. Mm.
Oh, there's a pile of ginger. Both me and Mark aren't really huge on ginger.
No.
Do you have a discard pile over there that I can use too?
Yeah. It's not in the frame, right?
I don't think so.
Ooh, be careful. Yeah, they say ginger is supposed to be like a palate cleanser between each
Bite.
bite.
I don't know. I just feel like all I taste is ginger after I take a bite into it. Wait, so should I tell you what I'm eating next, or just? Let me just go with it.
Just
I
go with
knew
it.
this would happen. Like really, because I was like, I'm waiting, and I'm like, I don't
Just
think
go
you're
with
paying
it.
attention.
Okay. What'd you grab? Seaweed? I grabbed the shrimp. So why did we decide to get Chirashi bowl today?
We did have a late lunch. Actually, it was a late lunch, but we ended up eating breakfast for lunch, right? Because it was 2:30 before they transition over, and I took a fat nap today, and then we woke up.
You know, we did have a lot of fried food lately, so something like this was appealing to me.
Yeah, something not fried, right?
It's something not fried. Usually for mukbangs, you know, I remember the very first mukbang done by some Korean people. Their appeal was like they would eat a whole table's worth of food, right? Have you ever done that for your show?
No, you wouldn't allow it.
I wouldn't allow
No.
it. Why not? Why do you say that?
We have to take photos soon. I have to fit into a suit. There's a lot of reasons why.
Well, if you don't eat anything the whole week, then you could
But I don't
plan
think
for it.
I think there are mukbangers who actually do that, like, and that's how they still maintain their weight. But I still need to eat like normally. I don't think I could. I mean, you saw what happened on Friday. Like I was ready to eat my arm.
Yeah.
That day because I hadn't eaten really anything at all. So. And a huge meal like that to eat by yourself just seems kind of depressing. Like when there's that
No,
much
you're
food-
not by yourself. You're watching with the viewer. And again, the very first mukbangs in Korea, it wasn't done on YouTube. It was done on
Africa.
Africa, and it's just a live streaming. So you get live comments and you actually interact with people. So
Maybe that's why I don't do live.
yes. So on Friday, I try to be nice and sweet. So I picked up a couple of spam musubis. If you guys don't know what that is, you find it a lot in those Hawaiian barbecue places. It's rice with sauteed piece of spam and maybe in teriyaki sauce wrapped in seaweed. And then when James got home, he's like, I'm so hungry. I was like, oh, I got you some spam musubi. He's like, it's Friday, I can't eat it. I was like, oops.
It's one of those things where it backfired, I feel like. I understood how it was sweet, but I also felt like, you don't remember that I can't eat this and you're torturing me. And the funny thing is we actually waited till midnight to eat the musubi, which was it was still good. You don't want to put musubi in the fridge because once you do that, the rice hardens and it's not good anymore.
Yeah, so I wrapped it tightly with saran wrap, so it stayed relatively soft still, right?
Yeah. I remember we did a potluck one time and someone brought spam musubi and people didn't eat it like initially, but it was like the best food to eat at the end of the party, right?
I think we brought that.
Oh, I might have, yes. Wow, this is this albacore and garlic. The garlic smells like really potent.
So, how do you usually think of what to say when you're filming, especially when you're by yourself?
I think it's just whatever comes to mind, but it's having an opportunity to like do it with someone else. It doesn't feel like the camera's even there right now.
Yeah,
But usually when I'm by myself, there are periods where I'm just like, I don't know what to say right now.
yeah, I feel like I haven't really looked at the camera at all.
Well, they know we're talking to them, right? Yeah, and then there's times where it's like, I'm just gonna eat. not gonna overthink it. Because I've watched video playbacks where I'm like, you can tell that I'm just telling a story for the sake of telling a story, but there's really no value in me like mentioning it. So sometimes it's just better off like just eating. I remember, I think I even told you one time I got a comment where someone said I was talking too much. And I said that was, what term did I use? I had a troll. And you said that's hardly someone trolling you, right? Or I felt like it was such a hate comment. I said something and you thought it was over dramatic.
I was like, it's not that bad of a comment.
I think I'm more sensitive out of the two of us then.
Then you shouldn't be on YouTube.
This is not the place to talk about that right now. What do you think? Is it still as good as the first time we had it?
It's good.
I feel like there's a butt coming. No? It's just good.
It's good, but you know, when you're eating it out of a styrofoam like plate, it doesn't feel as nice, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Because at the restaurant, they, you know, put in, you know, in a Japanese style ceramic bowl, right? So it kind of looks cool. So this is around $21 per bowl, right? $21?
Yeah, 21 or so. We thought we'd save money getting it to go.
We did save money because, you know, every time we go to get sushi, you know, we always get beer. You know, I always get my hot sake.
Yeah.
And not the small size. I usually get the large size. So, and then, you know, no tip. So we see, you know, good.
I did tip a little bit earlier.
But
not as much as what we
not
would
as
normally
much,
have to
right?
do. Yeah.
So we would pay about like maybe a third less than, you know, just grabbing a can of beer at home and just eating it, right?
Yeah. The other benefit is, I didn't really think about this before I met Mark, but he's more conscious about when you're in a restaurant and the food smell like actually like seeps into your clothes and skin.
Yeah.
I used to think like, oh, I just ate Korean barbecue, oh, like I'm good. But then as soon as I met him, he's like, you smell. Like your clothes smell. Or like we would go out and I'm like, oh, I smell like meat. And I would be like, I don't know why. And you would be like, oh, well, we just had Korean barbecue the other day. That's why you smell like it.
I think one of my, I wouldn't call it a pet peeve, but my own personal like dissatisfaction is when you go to a restaurant and when you smell a lot afterwards. For me, I don't like that on myself. So when I get like, after we eat, like my first like desires to just go home, change, take a shower right away. You know, that's why when we do go get Korean barbecue, sometimes I see people who go on dates. It looks like they might go clubbing right afterwards because they're all decked out and, you know, the girl's wearing, you know, the sexy outfit with high heels and the hair done.
She smells like cow.
And the guy's wearing, you know, a collared shirt and they're obviously having a date beforehand. But can you imagine, like, them going to the club? Not only do they smell from their clothes, but what if they burp?
Yeah.
Or the garlic?
Well, this reminds me of our San Francisco trip. We went with a couple of friends, and one of the places up there they have is known for their garlic crab, like garlic
noodle.
Crab and noodle. Yeah, and we ate that, and afterwards we decided to go clubbing, and we got a lot of, I guess, vodka, soda-based drinks. So there was a lot of carbonation in us, I feel like, and intermittently there would be like just these random burps, like not loud, and you would just smell it, and we knew it was one of the 5 or 6 of us. How many of us were
really
in that
pungent
group?
garlic smell. And then each time someone smelled it, they'd be like, "Who did it? Who did it?"
Yeah.
And
Do you remember as a kid doing this?
yeah.
But that's for farting, right?
Oh yeah, that's for farting. Not it.
I just did burp though right now. But it's okay. That's the beauty of doing mukbangs. You can always edit out a burp if you really want to.
I think.
Someone in one of my videos asked me if I fart in my videos.
Why?
because they
do you
watch.
go like this a lot?
No, I don't.
Do you
No,
lift
no,
your
no.
butt?
It's because they watch someone that farts in their videos, and it's really funny. I guess the way he reacts to it. So, yeah, I got a comment, and I was just like, I don't think I've ever farted in a video.
No, but I think doing a raw footage,
It's not like the word raw footage when you're describing farting.
instead of editing might be kind of cool. But do edit this one out. If I make a mistake, edit, please.
Yeah, the very first mukbang I did, I didn't know how to edit, so I just literally just uploaded it as is.
What was your first one again?
Spaghetti. Like I made spaghetti at home and
Oh,
did
right,
it over in
right,
the
right.
back. That one I actually don't remember where you were. I think I may have done it before you got home from work or something like that.
Maybe.
I probably felt too bashful for you to even do it, for me to even do it while you were home.
Now you don't care.
Yeah. I feel like I'm eating faster than you. That's usually the case. The only time you'll eat faster than me is like a burger. Everything else, I'm usually faster.
Well, that's because, I don't really like touching food.
Yeah.
So when I'm eating a burger, I try really hard to eat it fast, so I don't have to touch it as long. Yeah.
I've been wanting to do a like seafood boil, like boiling crab, whatever. But then I feel like, again, because you don't like it as much, then we would just end up with a bunch. That, and I don't really like the idea of eating around here because we have like a nice rug, and I just can see I'm a messy eater, so I just don't want it to splatter. Can't get those stains out.
Just
Lay
it on a tarp.
Yeah. What's Eddie doing behind us? Oh, we should block it. So, how's it going so far? Do you think this is weird?
It's not weird. It's definitely different from just eating at home without the camera on you.
Yeah, I guess so. I notice when I do mukbangs by myself, I tend to eat slower because I find myself talking more, which I guess is better, right? To not eat as fast.
When I was growing up, my mom would say that I would eat fast. Like if I had a food in front of me, I would just eat fast. So she made me chew each bite 50 times before I was allowed to take another bite.
50.
And I had to count out loud, like 1, 2, to even slow it
In
down even more.
between chewing? How's that possible?
But that only lasted maybe one meal.
But I feel like, would there be a point where you're just counting but there's no food in your mouth? I feel like my saliva would just like dissolve everything before I even get to like 20. Do you remember what you ate?
Oh, Korean food.
Oh, that's funny. I never like when the seaweed touches the rice because it does like this alien green thing.
There's seaweed salad.
Yeah. I always wonder if we have windows right here off to the side if you guys have ever seen. I always wonder if people ever look in just watching like us talking to the camera, and like that just seems weird for people. Like even when I have to explain to people.
Well, at least we're not naked.
Yeah, I mean that could be another concept.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not standing up, so I mean, we could very much be.
You know, I always wondered those news anchor people, if they actually wear pants, like, you know, if they're wearing a suit or, you know,
They don't
whatever.
wear pants.
Like if they're wearing matching pants,
Oh.
or if it's like pajamas.
Well, at the very least, they have to wear pants. So you can't just show up to work in your undies. That's like sexual harassment, no?
Right.
It's just I ate too much of it without knowing what it truly was.
I was saving that for Heidi.
I was like, why are you spitting up the fish?
No. I was saving that for Heidi.
If you can see him, he's right there.
Mm.
He was very curious about what we're doing today.
So, Korean people, you know, we used to eat kind of grilled, barbecued eel a lot. And it was, you know, I just remember it being really good. So I grew up eating it, and in Japanese sushi restaurants when they have unagi, I'm like, oh, you know, it's good. Do you know what they say about the tail piece of an eel?
You told me this,
Oh, did I?
but I could be completely off base. Is it for helping the man to be extra fertile? Or not fertile, it's like Viagra, but eel form.
Stamina.
Oh, stamina.
Endurance, stamina. So they always give the tail piece to like the dad.
But when did you learn like what it was for?
I don't know, because, you know, again, you know, I want to say 99% of all Korean families who would grill eel at home, someone always says, okay, who's gonna eat the tail piece because it gives you stamina.
That's funny.
You know, when you're a kid, you don't really know what that means until you get a little bit older and you connect the dots. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why. It looks like I had the tail piece.
Well, the entire time you were telling that story,
Yeah.
I was just thinking to myself, are you gonna regret it because you just talked about how you love eating so much eel, and I'm like, I don't
I never got the tail piece.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this mukbang. If you want to see more videos with Mark in it, let us know down below in the comment section. Otherwise, make sure you give us a thumbs up, comment, and what else?
Subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.